Good morning, everyone. Jim Clark here at the Synchronicity Sanctuary to share another contemplative focus with you today. And the focus I wanted to share with you today is the world is broken. Or is it? It's easy for us to judge the world as broken and not take any responsibility for it. This is something that we witness everywhere today. But in the truth, the world is just a reflection of those who are creating it. So if we're responsible for our creation, then we don't point at the world that's broken that we're seeing. We realize that we are generating this kind of a world. We're seeing the world as a reflection of what's in here, not what's out there. So in truth, we are the generators of our own reality, and if we don't like it, then there's something in us that we don't like. It's not out there. This is why hypocrites in history want to persecute the evil they see in the world because it's out there. Something's wrong, it's out there. When in truth, it's just their own fragmentation that they're experiencing. They're just not aware of it. So if the world's broken, it's because we are broken. And if we are broken, the real question is, what is the cause of our fragmentation? Why are we creating the reality that we are creating? Why are we seeing what we're seeing out here? It's so easy today with so much media coverage and so much exposure to the unconscious creation of that broken world that we're seeing every day on the media, to get sucked into that and start taking it seriously. When really, it's just everybody's getting upset because they are fragmented, they're unconscious, and they're not taking responsibility because they can't. You have to be aware before you can be responsible. And this is where we come in here at Synchronicity as meditators, as those who are committed to balance and wholeness. As we grow our own balance, as we become more whole, that broken world out there is just telling us that we still have some work to do. We may see it that way here and there, but that's what the message is there's something in me that needs to be fixed. And it's usually some kind of an identification that we're carrying inside of ourselves that we got so close to in our lifetime that it's hard for us to see it. And so it's pause for reflection. That's what sharing these contemplations is really all about. It's about taking a perspective that can bring us into ourselves to uncover more about how we are operating, how we're working, how we are generating, what we're generating as a reality. And this is really what life is all about. When you're a meditator, you're constantly running into yourself out there. You're seeing somebody or something or some situation, and if it triggers something negative, if it triggers something that causes you to fall into judgment, and you start pointing a finger, then you're really pointing the finger at yourself, because there's something in you that you have that's not whole, that's not real, that's not truthful. Because the truth is, there's only one source consciousness, and that is all and everything, including the show that we see outside, including the broken world, if we're seeing a broken world. So it's nothing to get judgmental about. It's simply a big sign saying you still have some work to do here. You still need to get down into yourself more and try to uncover what's causative to your experience of the world. If it's broken, then there's something you need to uncover and see, and then and then reverse it with affirmations, with meditation, with a consistent focus in duration every day to bring yourself into more balance. Because in truth, we are one source consciousness. We are the perfection that is creating all of this. It's creating everything that we can see and experience in the creative world, in the manifest reality that we find ourselves in today. Huh? And it's been no different other than the fact that there wasn't the internet, there wasn't so much coverage way back when. People just saw each other in their village and maybe other people that were near them and they were interacting with, but the same mechanics are at work. Huh? If you see somebody or something or some group and you start to fall into a fear-based interpretation and a negative interpretation, and you project that interpretation onto that world, because you're not taking responsibility for being the creator of it, because you don't know that you're creating it. And this is the story the world has been recycling forever, it seems like, but actually it's not forever. It's just the times we are in are ripe for such creativity, actually. And then it's a great opportunity for people whose feet need to be completed in that kind of a process, where they're bringing about such an intense negative creation that they have the opportunity to have a breakthrough and be complete in that kind of a process, where they realize that they just get so sick and tired of what they're creating that they drop it. And that is the impulse of the evolutionary cycle that is waking up in them when this happens, however it happens. And that's why being a human being in these times in the Kali Yuga is such a valuable experience, human experience, because it gets so intense that the urge to move into something more positive is stronger than ever, because it just gets more and more intense, more and more negative, more and more broken. And we see this just recently in the news, where the brokenness of our part of the world is showing up again and whatnot. That is, if you don't have a holistic perspective on what's really going on here. The players are playing their part, they're doing just fine, and it's a wonderful time for people to be alive, because they have such a great opportunity to wake up and to become interested in meditation, to start a practice and to become more balanced and become more whole. And this is the opportunity that is in the forefront of today. But you don't see that in the news. You don't see a broadcast from from the media saying there's more people meditating today than ever, and this is great, because eventually it will create more balance for the whole. But this is what's happening, and this is how the mechanics of consciousness goes. It's reaching an extreme, and once it reaches a certain point in that extreme, it will shift. This is how consciousness maintains itself in the creation game. Once you bring yourself to an extreme and imbalance, then the urge to offset that with something that will create balance happens. It's triggered. And this is what's happening more and more today too. So all the bad news, all the brokenness that we see and experience, if we're identified with it, it's really just bringing us more to that, more and more. When I say us, I mean everybody. People who are never meditated in their lives, it's bringing them to that point where they have the opportunity to experience that breakthrough and then see the reality that's real. And that reality is one blissful consciousness. when they have that experience in themselves, then they will see the world and create a world that is not broken. And that's what this contemplation is all about. The world is broken, or is it? And it's just a question that our teacher gave to us so that we could start seeing how we create that right here. People that we live with and work with every day, there's people that there's always somebody you don't like. There's always somebody you have difficulty with that triggers you and causes you to see something that's broken. I had that experience here many times in the years I've been here, but it was just me creating a broken world and not taking responsibility for it. It's their fault. They're wrong. They're crazy or whatever, and the judgments go out even though they're in your head, and it just keeps rolling out until you finally say, "Okay, I can't. I have to deal with this because I'm here at the sanctuary. I'm here where I meditate every day, and mechanics of consciousness I'm aware of, so I need to go into myself and fix what's broken in here." And that's the process of waking up gradually and waking up more and more and more until we are cleared all the negativity that we're hanging on to because we're so used to it. We've spent many lifetimes generating that kind of experience, and it's going to take a while for us to evolve to more and more clarity and truthfulness within ourselves. So this is the mechanics of consciousness. This is how we create a broken world so that it can bother us until we start to take responsibility for it and we fix ourselves. We generate more wholeness within ourselves. We generate something positive. We go to the party that we are and we say, "Hallelujah, I finally found what's worthwhile. I finally found myself." And then when you get there, that's what you see. That's the world that you are creating because you are not only whole within yourself, but you're aware of your wholeness and you're aware of the creation game for what it truthfully is. You're aware that there is only one blissful consciousness. There can be nothing else. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. So I hope that cheers everybody up a little bit. All the bad news is just there so that we can shift our focus and experience something more holistic and something more truthful. And as it gets more and more intense, we get closer to that point where the collective consciousness can experience a shift towards that truth. And this is what the whole world is doing right now. We're going from we're going through one, what they call yuga, to another one where the Kali yuga, which is what we're gradually moving out of, is where things are the densest and the most unconscious on the planet. And it is that yuga, that time period, where if you can manifest yourself as a human being, your opportunities to wake up are greater than ever, as opposed to the golden age, which is the opposite, where there's more awareness in the world than ever before. Everything is so good that you don't have the impetus, you don't have that push to become more aware, to wake up more, and to be more whole within yourself, because your experience appears to be so perfect as it is. This is something our teacher told us many times, that it's actually the most opportune time to be born as a human being. So if you find yourself here today, you made a wise choice, or you earned a wise choice to manifest yourself and look at the world that is so broken that it's just hard to realize how it could be any more broken. And we have the potential to destroy ourselves as we have never had. So that just adds to the drama of the broken world that we keep creating and pointing out there. It's their fault, it's them, it's not us, blah, 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 and so forth and so on, which is just a big joke, because there is nobody out there. There's just you. There's only the social consciousness that you have always been. And that's it. So that's it for today. The world is broken, or is it? And we know it's not broken. Most of the people watching this know it's not broken in that sense that I just described. It's going through a process. It's going through its own growth as a whole. The collective consciousness is. And this is something that should be celebrated and recognized for what it really is, instead of falling into that trap of focusing out there and projecting our own brokenness onto what we are seeing, hearing, and experiencing. So that's it for today. I hope you got something out of this that you find worthwhile. I thank you for being with us today and watching, and I will be back again next Monday with another contemplative focus to share with you. So thank you so much.